Hey y'all. So this one is long. So just get ready. The title of this Reddit post is Read This Before Pursuing Cosmetology. This is why I regret doing it. So it's going to be long. This is the perfect video for you to clean to and just have your headphones in, whatever. So this person starts off by saying, I think I represent at least 80% of the people who go into cosmetology. Much respect for the ones who manage to become successful and thrive. There are few and far between, but I still feel this should be out there for all of the people who don't already have a background in it or are just doing it out of pressure or just not knowing what to do with their life career-wise. Because I am most people, I am not that stylist, born to do it. Fact is, most of us are not. Talking to the unsure reader who probably has never done hair prior to thinking about going to cosmetology school. You will most likely regret it, just like me, and leave the industry for something more realistic. I apologize in advance for the noise. I have a dog that acts like a child when I start to record. Hey, take that somewhere. It's loud. Anyway, so let me start by saying that I think a lot of people make the mistake. Champ, stop. Take it to the carpet. Take it to your bed. You're making a lot of noise. Goodness. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so I want to start off by saying that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that because you go to cosmetology school, that automatically you're going to like come out the gate and just be like killer. That's not how that works. Cosmetology school teaches you the processes, it teaches you sanitation, and it teaches you the proper way to do things, right? It can't give you talent. You either have it or you don't. Sometimes you'll go to school and you'll realize that this is not what I like. I went to school for medical billing and coding and I hated it. I hated everything about it. It was just too redundant. It was boring to me. And you would think for someone like me, well, like you could stand on your feet for 6 hours and braid hair. How is that not redundant? But everything is not for everybody. So I feel like part of it is that she's probably already having like buyer's remorse, right? Like, so you come in and you decide, okay, I'm going to go to cosmetology school. I'm not exactly sure where the pressure part comes in with that, because obviously I don't know this person's situation. But for you to say that you were not born to do it, okay, well, once you realize that, I don't think that should be a deterrent for everybody else. I just think that maybe you've come to the realization that the art of cosmetology is not for you. But I think a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that a cosmetologist just simply means that you have to be behind a chair or you have to be performing beauty services. There's other avenues of cosmetology. You could be working for a company, like a product company. You could be working for like the L'Oreals of the world. You could be doing product demos. You don't have to always work on a person particularly. So this person also says, if you are someone who has days where you have a low social battery, do not pursue cosmetology. You cannot afford to be antisocial or depressed ever. If you get tired, burnt out, stressed from pressure, don't do it. If you get back or shoulder pain, don't do it. If you want regular weekends off, don't do it. I want my weekends back so bad. If you aren't good with dealing with mean, picky, or rude people, don't do it. People are stupid and crazy. You are lucky to find a place of work that isn't full of drama or crazy B words. People who get on my nerves ruin my day, and then I'm just quiet for the rest of the day. If people get on your nerves, don't do it. If you want to be able to afford to live on your own, don't do it. You will not be well off for a very long time. It will take you at least a decade of people pleasing or more. Constant busy work. The work never becomes passive or easy. You have to pay fees and take classes just to keep your license from expiring. You do not get refunded. Okay, so I'm going to assume that this person is just having a bad day, and maybe something that happened was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I don't want to negate their experience, but I do obviously want to address my own, or want to add my own 2 cents to what they're saying. So let me back up some. If you are someone who has days where you have a low social battery, do not pursue cosmetology. I have to disagree. But I think that for this person, the reason why they feel like this is because they're now realizing that this is just not something that they love to do. So for myself, I love what I do. I love the people that I work with. I'm not going to always be a fan of every client that's in my chair, but I genuinely enjoy doing hair. So I am in real life an introvert, but I have become over time an extrovert because of the clients that I have. Every client has not been an amazing client. I've had some clients that in the past would make me question, what am I doing this for? Why am I still doing hair? But over time, you will learn to set boundaries, and you will learn what clients do and don't work for you. You cannot afford to be antisocial or depressed ever. I disagree. I feel like we all go through things, and just like any other job, life is gonna life regardless of what you do for a living, right? So I think that the big part of any line of work is, if you are going through something, yes, take time for yourself, but don't bring that into what you have going on. Like, if you are depressed, I'm sorry that you're depressed, but like, you can't bring that to work no matter where you work at. You know what I mean? If you get back or shoulder pain, don't do it. Once again, depending on what you do for a living, you're going to have that anyway. And maybe work on your posture and you won't have any issues. A lot of the aches and pains that I had for a long time was literally just because I had horrible posture. I started wearing different shoes. I started making sure that I was working on an anti-fatigue mat. I don't do it right now at home, but I do wear sandals that have like the foam. What else was I gonna say? One of my clients actually bought me like a brace, and it helps me stand up a lot straighter. So, massages, chiropractor, like, I get it, but if you want regular weekends off, don't do it. Once again, there are people that are looking for what you have to offer in the time frame. There's clients that work weekends that may not be able to get to you on a weekend. And depending on your weekday hours, you may be perfect for them. I'm starting to feel like a lot of this is just all in how this person is perceiving things. Let's see. I'm gonna move this because, of course, as soon as I start recording, construction wants to start. So I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So let's see where we left off at. So we left off at if you want regular weekends off, don't do it. Now, this one is very subjective, but like I said, I do believe that there are people that there's clients that work on weekends. You have to figure out, like, whatever schedule works for you, you will find clients that can work with said schedule, right? So there are some clients that work weekends, like for myself, right? Monday is like the best time for me. Not every client works on not every hairstylist works on a Monday. I obviously don't work on a Monday. So I look for those that do. You know what I mean? But like I said, I really believe that a big part of this is just this person is just burnt out, and we get like that too. Let's see. If you aren't good at dealing with mean, picky, or rude people, don't do it. People are stupid and crazy. Once again, I feel like all of this, depending on where you work, you're going to deal with this, period. I also believe that you kind of attract what you are, or you attract your attitude. So when I had a lot of those undesirable clients, a lot of those clients they didn't necessarily match who I was at the time, but I lacked boundaries, and I was a people pleaser, and I didn't want to stand up for myself because I was so afraid that if I did, the money would walk out. But I wasn't even, when I look at like what I'm making now versus then, like, y'all, it wasn't even worth the headache, honestly. Let's see. People who get on my nerves ruin my day, and then I'm just quiet for the rest of the day. Okay, baby, that's life. If people get on your nerves, and don't do it. Baby, if people get on your nerves, don't do anything. Just go hide under a rock, because everybody's going to get on your nerves. If you want to be able to afford to live on your own, don't do it. You will not be well off for a very long time. It will take you at least a decade of people pleasing or more. Constant busy work. Okay, this one I'm going to have to disagree with, because specifically that if you want to be able to afford to live on your own, don't do it. Okay, so for myself personally, I can't speak for other people, but hairstyling has afforded me a lot more than any 9 to 5 that I've ever had, honestly. Like, I remember having a job and being homeless. You will not be well off for a very long time. Once again, I also disagree. I think what does happen sometimes, though, is we get, especially when you're first starting, you haven't touched that much money ever, usually, and we have to learn money management. I don't know if this is this person's situation, but I know that's what it was for me. So I never felt like I wasn't making enough. I actually adopted the toxic idea of I can just make some more back tomorrow, and I had to unlearn that. Let's see. The work never becomes passive or easy. Once again, I believe that this is a mindset thing, because for me, I can do this in my sleep. But if you don't enjoy it, then of course it feels like work to you. It doesn't feel like work to me because I genuinely enjoy and love what I do for a living. You have to pay fees and take classes just to keep your license from expiring, and you do not get refunded. I'm not exactly sure what you would need a refund for. You can claim your licensing fees on your taxes. That is a business expense. I'm not exactly sure about that one. And you don't have to take classes to keep your license. However, you obviously want to take classes to stay up to date with what's going on. But, okay. Also, I don't know where this person lives, so it may be different depending on the state that you live in. Cosmetologists without support systems at home are very rare, and they work constantly, and they have to be extremely passionate and popular. I don't exactly understand that one. Rent prices are high as hell, and so are car payments and other bills. Put a student loan bill on top of that, and consider everything below as well. Yeah, I just feel like baby's having a bad day. Everything's high for everybody. It doesn't matter where you work. Even the rich people are complaining right now. As far as the student loan bill, the way to work around that is to go to a community college where you don't have to pay for student loans. However, you will go a little longer, or you can do an apprenticeship and you can be working and like you can be getting paid while you're learning. You just work under somebody else in their license and they teach you. It's like extended cosmetology school. Depending on the state, like in California, you do have to do double the hours, but you come in the game on the floor. Let's see. They are the kind of people who are rarely in nonchalant moods. They have to be high energy naturally every single day. Not true. I'm low energy most days. I think that you just get back what you put out. So like for instance, when I run into a client and I'm not having the best day, even though I don't bring that to work with me, or let's just say I'm not feeling well, right? Like let's say it's Shark Week. I literally will tell my clients like, hey love, I'm so happy to see you, but I am not feeling well today. So if my energy is off, it's me, it's not you. And they don't take it personal. They just go, oh, okay, I understand. Last week I had a client, we were both exhausted and we giggled about it. And she was like, I am dog tired. I'm probably not gonna be talking to her today. And I said, good, me too, because I am dead ass tired. And that whole appointment we spent in pure freaking silence. And we were happy about it. And we kind of got like delirious towards the end and we're giggling and everything else like that. But I'm not exactly sure like what expectations you assume people have of you. I think that the internet plays a big role in this too. Like a lot of us, I had to get off of like complaining about hairstylist TikTok too, because it does get a little discouraging, but I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. They have to be in demand. They have to be one of the most sought after hairstylists in town, which leaves them with very little personal time for themselves or their families or friends. So if you get FOMO and burnout, don't do it. It takes a long time to get there, and once you are there, the pressure to stay there surmounts. I think that if you feel like you need to be in high demand, that's an ego thing. I do believe that those of us that are workaholics, by nature, you want to take as many people as you can, but believe me, once the burnout comes, you'll realize that's not all it's cracked up to be, and you'll kind of learn how to work around that. If you have sleeping problems, do not do it. I don't understand. Being tired at work shows in your work and you can't help it. I think this is a them problem. I don't know. Don't even think about staying up late for fun. And then again, I'm a mom, so I'm kind of seasoned in the working off of very little sleep department. So there's that. This isn't a career you can just casually go into and make a comfortable living. You have to have a fiery passion every single day to be a good stylist. I don't agree with that. I just think that you have to create a system for yourself. Once you create a system for yourself, everything else will flow the way that it's supposed to flow, and it won't be so difficult for you. It is demanding physical labor. That I can definitely agree with. You have to be in love with it. I definitely agree with that one. You can't just not be in the mood ever. Days like that will cost you dearly. If you have depression or social anxiety, do not do it. If you have a passion for style every day, do not do it. I just think that she needs to find her people. I don't think that she's working with her people yet. She hasn't aligned herself with the kind of clients that may be looking for someone like her, whatever that is. I do not have passion like that. I'm very good at it, but I'm tired of it. Ding dong. That's the thing right there. You don't like what you're doing for a living. Like, this is the same thing as, like, for instance, okay, great example. People that drive the bus. You have those people that have been driving the bus for 40 years and they genuinely love driving the bus. And then you have some people that literally just drive the bus because it's okay pay, the benefits are nice, and it's a government job, so they have, job security. If you don't like what you're doing, unless you find a way to enjoy it, you're not going to enjoy it. It just I think cosmetology for her probably just became one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm going to get money and then I'm going to get out of it. And I believe that this is why a lot of clients have the complaints that they have now about our industry, because there's a lot of people that are in this industry that genuinely don't love what they do. So they're good at it, but they don't love what they do. There's a lot of things that I'm great at and I don't enjoy doing it, so I don't do it. Like I said, I just from the beginning of this, it let me know that you just don't like what you're doing. You just have finally come to the realization that this industry is not for you, and that's perfectly okay. I just think that it sucks because you went and got these student loans to realize that this is something that you don't like. But the beautiful thing about the cosmetology industry is you don't have to just be behind a chair. You don't. Go find, there's so many other things that you could be doing with your license. You don't have to be working directly with clients. You also, she could also go, and there's you can go into nursing, right? With your cosmetology degree, and you could be doing the more scientific side of that, right? Like I said, I don't know if they do hair. I don't know if I just know that this person is in cosmetology school, so I guess we'll find out, because like I said, this is long. But if this is hair specifically, maybe you like skincare and don't realize it. Maybe you like nails and you don't realize it. Maybe you like makeup and don't realize it. Like I said, maybe you like product formulation and you don't realize it. Maybe just hair is not your thing. Let's see. Someone said the pay is not worth the debt I went into to get certified. It's just so exhausting, and it isn't much better than serving tables. I actually made more money for way easier work serving tables. And that didn't cost me anything to get into. Cosmo school is very expensive. Definitely depends on what school you go to. You're taking on a student loan to barely get paid better than waitressing. Yeah, I think it's just them. Because cosmetology can be very lucrative depending on what you're doing and how you go about it. The only way to live comfortably is if you own your own business and have a clientele list that is a mile long. Not true. It could take over a decade to build a clientele like that, and good luck saving up for a business in this economy. You don't have to have your own business. A lot of people don't want to start in shops, and I understand it, but the shop is the best place to start, because not only are you getting experience, but if you are, let's say that you don't have a big clientele like that, the best thing for you to do is to work under someone else or work in a salon and work for commission, because then you're not out so much. Booth rent makes more sense when you're getting to the point where you're spending more money in commission because your clientele is the way it is. But when you're just starting out, commission is the best way to go, because you still have some take-home money at the end of the day. But there's no job that you're just going to jump into full-fledged and be making what the veterans are making. It's just not how that works. But there's also people that I've seen that have graduated cosmetology school or have only been doing hair for a few years, and they're some of the best in the game. It's your passion and your willingness to learn and apply. And like I said, she doesn't like what she's doing, so of course her view on this industry is different. Let's see. You need to be supported at first and for a while. You will be miserable if you go work at a Great Clips to pay your rent. This is one of the worst, most toxic work environments. You don't have to work at a Great Clips. You're choosing to work at a Great Clips. People are starting to do their own hair more since COVID. Booth renters are extremely competitive and will shit talk you publicly to take potential clients. Let me stop you here. First and foremost, people have always been doing their own hair. Even as someone that can literally do their own services. I can do my own makeup, I can do my own hair, I can do my own nails, I can wax myself. We still want other people to do these things for us. Like, it's nice to be able to do these things for ourselves, but the whole purpose of the beauty industry is to be pampered. We want other people to do these things for us, right? So, another thing was booth renters are extremely competitive and will shit talk you publicly to take potential clients. Okay. I've always said this. You can't steal a client. These are grown-ass adults that are choosing to take their money where they want to take them. No one can steal a human being from you. There are times where someone may want to go to someone because maybe the experience that they had with you wasn't the best. Maybe the way that they wanted something to come out, you couldn't do that, or sometimes the person is just cheaper. A lot of the times people are we have free will, right? We all have the right of free will. We have free choice, right? Just because you go to this one person or somebody, let's say your client goes to some other person, it doesn't mean that they're going to have the experience that they want. Or sometimes it may just simply be that their hours don't work with your hours. Like, I've seen clients of mine and other people's comments, I don't feel away. I used to, but I don't feel away. Like, my little sister was the one doing my lashes. I got tired of driving to her location. I found a girl that was closer that does just as great of work as she does. It's not a personal thing. I think that we have got to stop taking business personally. Once we take emotion and personal feelings out of business, I don't think that we will be affected the way that we allow these things to affect us. I have depression and anxiety, but I'm not on disability. I just don't want to do this anymore. I cannot imagine doing this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be competitive or bust my ass to stand out. I totally understand the not wanting to be competitive or the not wanting to work so hard to stand out. I've definitely felt like that. I want to say in that that maybe you should get off of social media. Maybe social media is the thing, because for me, when I take a social media break, I give my brain a rest. That's what they say. Comparison is a thief of joy. When I start to find myself comparing myself to what other people are doing, or, oh, this person has this celebrity client, or whatever the case is, then yes, you will find yourself kind of down in the dumps. And that's when you're supposed to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and say, why do I feel like this? Yes, we are in a competitive industry, but I don't compete with anyone. I literally am in my bubble. Anybody that knows me knows I say that all the time. I am in my bubble. If you don't want to work in a salon and you don't want to deal with other coworkers, become mobile. Do house calls. Then all you have to do is work with your client. What else was I going to say? I think that the standing out apart, like I said, I think that that's a social media thing, because word of mouth is the best form of advertising. If every client that sits in your chair is getting the best service that you have to offer, they're going to tell other people. If you are the shit when it comes to balayage, and you get all the balayage girlies in and they're excited, guess what they're going to do? Go tell more people. Or they're going to go to work and people are going to be like, oh my God, your hair's so pretty. Who did your hair? And then boom, another client. You don't have to necessarily, I think that a lot of the time we're too exposed to people, period. Like, for instance, I like the growth that TikTok offers. I don't like the energies on TikTok. TikTok has a very dark energy. So I had to stop going live on there because I felt it and I felt very drained. What you could also do is you can schedule your social media posts and make sure that in those posts that you're offering directives so that you don't have to be on social media so much. You post and then you have them scheduled, and you can get on social media once a week to schedule your post and get off. That's another thing you can do as well. I don't want surviving to be a competition or a hamster wheel. I want to relax more. I don't want to have to worry about bills at all. Okay, baby. even celebrities that are millionaires worry about bills. So I don't know exactly what kind of job you think you're gonna get. I don't think this is a cosmetology issue. I think this is just a her issue. My interests have evolved beyond hair, so I know I'll never have the passion for it to really stand out and thrive. I only got into it because at the time I really liked doing hair and I liked the idea of it. I didn't know any of the cons. I didn't know how much of a scam beauty school is or how unforgiving the industry is. I didn't know how unstable it could be, how exhausting, how socially draining. I was young and naive. Okay. Like I said, excuse me guys, I'm a little under the weather. Like I said in the beginning, I really do believe that a big part of this is just that you just realize you don't like it anymore. I don't believe that beauty school is a scam. I just think that a lot of people go into beauty school expecting one thing and they realize later on that that's not what it is. Like I said, beauty school does not make you a great hairstylist. Beauty school teaches you the technicalities. You still have to, one, obviously, yes, you have to have the passion for it. Two, you have to have the talent. Like, I mean, you could do, a haircut, but did you enjoy doing a haircut? Are you actually are you good at cutting hair? Like, are you taking additional classes to learn other cutting styles? Like, there's a million and one ways to skin a cat, and that's the fun thing about cosmetology for me. But if you don't like it, nothing about it is going to change that for you. I didn't know how unstable it can be. Every industry is unstable, especially in 2024. Hair is not the only thing. How exhausting, how socially draining. I think this baby needs to go and work at a warehouse. I don't think that working with the public is for them, period. And it says how public it makes you. You have to be okay with your name being out there. Well, okay. I mean, if you're a hairstylist, you would want people to know. But okay. How people can be impossible to please, and then they leave reviews about you just because you can't do magic and you give them something impossible. Now, yes, in any industry, once again, you can't make everybody happy. But I'm beginning to believe that however this person, the tone that I get from this post makes me wonder if this is how this person is in their real life. And maybe that's why they're dealing with the things that they're dealing with other human beings. There are people who don't understand genetics, hair, or even inches. That'll still be your fault, though. Well, it is our job to educate our clients. You have to walk people through it, speak step by step like you're explaining something to a stupid monkey, or you risk miscommunication, which messes up the cut or color. Yeah, this person is just not peoply. Because explaining something to a stupid monkey is a very wild statement. But once again, when you have a passion for what you do, explaining what you're doing to your client wouldn't bother you. And for myself, like, sometimes clients will say, I want that red color everybody's getting. And you're like, what? Or I want pumpkin spice. And to you, that may mean one color, but to a client, that means something else. I literally just say, can you show me a picture? Problem solved. I'd do anything for a time machine. I'd go to school for something that pays consistently and well with weekends off. I plan to go back to school, but it hurts a lot to have wasted this much time. I can't stand people anymore. I never want to work with the public again. There are just too many finicky weirdos to depend on for money. Hairstylists are more than stylists. They're therapists, and people will trauma dump on you, talk your ear off, and drain you. It's so annoying. I'd turn down serving so many people if I didn't need the money or risk getting fired. People are shitty. Let me repeat something about weekends. You do not get them unless you booth rent and can afford to make yourself unavailable. Yeah, right. You better be charging hella and be in demand for some niche skill no one has. You'd better be damn good at it too, and the whole town has to know. Fresh out of school, your options will be slim. You will not be able to afford booth rent and living expenses. You're most likely going to go to a great Clips, who is open 7 days a week, standing on your feet, cutting heads for 10 to 11 hours a day. And they're only going to give you a 30-minute break. They're extremely inhumane and operate similar to sweatshops, but for haircuts. It's a good place to learn and get experience, but other than that, they bring you out very quickly, and they do not offer benefits to their employees. Okay, so I obviously have never worked in a Great Clips or Supercuts or any franchises, but like I said, you don't have to work in those type of industries. And you don't have to booth rent. Like I said, you can do commission. A lot of salons are willing to hire people out of school. You could be a wash girl. You could be an assistant. You could still be getting paid without having to like full on take on the work. What else did they say? That, let's see. You don't get booth rent unless you, you don't get weekends unless you booth rent, or you can afford to make yourself unavailable. I mean, yes, you make the most money on the weekend, but you don't have to work a weekend. And I feel like I want to ask this person, like, well, what were you doing before you got into beauty school? Yeah, I'm wondering, like, what did this person do before they got into cosmetology school? Because how were you making a living before this? Now, she did say that she was young, so I'm wondering if maybe she went to cosmetology school maybe out of high school. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know her personal life. So I can only, I can only compare, or I can only speak, let me say that again. I can only respond based off my own experiences. I feel like this young lady is intimidated by the industry, which is a very valid feeling. I used to feel like when I would, but this is where that comparison is a thief of joy comes in, right? Because I can remember when I would see like my colleagues, right? And in my mind, their work looked better than mine. And I would start to question, like, why would, sorry, y'all know I'm a bariatric patient and I got a gas bubble right here. I apologize in advance. I would question, like, why would somebody want to come to me? Or like, my flat twisties don't look like this, or my braids don't look like this. But that would inspire me to learn and to practice, right? But this person is just, like I said, I think that you can fall out of love with your passion, but I don't think that this person ever had a passion for it. It was just one of those things where it was like, okay, I think that I like this, let me go to school for it. But then when she got into the job field, it was just like, okay, no. But some of the things that she's saying, it's like, how old are you now? Because it just doesn't make, a lot of this is not making sense to me. Let's see. Like she said that Great Clips is like a sweatshop for haircuts. I can't relate because I never worked at a Great Clips. Most, how do I say this without coming off wrong? I think that Black stylists specifically, our experience is a tad different when it comes into entering into the industry because our hair alone is its own niche. So that doesn't mean that like Black girls can't work at Great Clips, because they have, I've had an auntie that has worked at like the franchise places, but a lot of us, that's not how we come into the game. A lot of us, when we come in and we start working at a shop, it's changed now. The industry has changed a lot, but back in the day, when you graduated cosmetology school, whether you was fire, whether you was not, it didn't matter. Everybody started off at the wash bowl. You were a wash girl and you were an assistant and you worked your way up. And I feel like that's what a lot of what has changed now. So like I said, I can't speak to the whole Great Clips thing because I don't know anything about that. She also says let me back up. Then she says they also don't offer benefits to their employees. Okay, most hairstylists don't. You have to pay for your own benefits. A better option is Cost Cutters. I'm not familiar with that company. But they don't like to hire without experience, and the pay can be even lower than Great Clips due to being less busy. But at least you're treated more humanely there and can get experience with color and styling, not just cutting. Full-timers get benefits and minimum wage compensation for the slow weeks. Part-timers are expected to be there for free if it's super slow, so even that sucks. Actual slavery babysitting a store for free. I just feel like, what do you want out of the industry? Like, what are you expecting the industry to give to you? Because, for instance, like when I was younger, think I worked in my first shop when I was 16, and I would just come in on the weekends and braid. I would be up at that shop whether I had clients or not, and I learned so much sitting there. If you are getting paid to sit there, isn't that any job? Wouldn't that be any job that you go to or you work at? Then on top of that, I'm thinking, I know when I worked in a shop and it was slow, we just serviced each other. Like there's learning there. There's so much that you could be doing. Like if it's slow, clean your station, reorganize your station, sanitize your tools, clean the shop. I don't know. Like there's just so much that you could be doing. Let's see. If you have a big clientele, you can focus them into your part-time days, but starting out, you need to be full-time to avoid slave shifts. They are at least closed on Sundays, so you're guaranteed a day for yourself. You're also legally entitled to an hour break, unlike Great Clips, who somehow gets away with skimping you and will reprimand you for using the bathroom too much. God forbid you get a UTI or your period at Great Clips. Okay. The industry is cruel. It's pimped out by greedy franchises and salon owners who do not give a crap about your health or success. They want to make an easy buck off your labor while they sit on their ass. You may have the opportunity to grow clientele through them, and that's worth being grateful for, but my God, is it tiring busting your ass for less than bare necessities. So many people who have never worked behind a salon chair want to own salons and profit off of your labor. You cannot own a salon without a license. You can own a braid shop. You can own like a shop for like natural hair services. I'm speaking on California. Once again, I don't know where this person is. Braids, locks, weaves, wigs, permanent makeup, body sculpting. Yeah, those services you don't have to have a license for. But California State Board, if you are running a full service salon, requires you to have a license. So I have no idea what this poor child is talking about. They don't know or care how unhealthy it can be. They will overwork the life out of you while sitting fat and happy. Baby, that is any industry, any corporation, anybody you work for. You have to get up early and touch people every day and hope they aren't a nut job first thing in the morning. Okay? If you hate mornings, don't do it. You don't have to work mornings. If you don't like talking to strangers, don't do it. If you don't like meeting new people, don't do it. I just feel like, okay, well then just don't live. Like don't breathe. Because you're going to go to the grocery store and run into people you don't know. If you care about politics or any societal matters, don't do it. You're not allowed to talk politics or social issues. It's also very risky because of how divided people are. You could risk starting an argument and make people around you uncomfortable. We are taught in cosmetology school that you do not talk about politics, religion, a lot of personal things. I just feel like that's just, like I said, this person is taking our industry way too personal. She's making this a personal thing. That is the thing in business, period. Did y'all see the sticker mule dude that like let it be known that he was voting for Trump, made a whole Trump sticker, and everybody on Instagram chewed his ass out? Like, your personal views are your personal views. Now, I do have certain clients that I can speak certain things to, and we can have an educated conversation. But you cannot, and that took years to develop, but you can't have that with everybody, and you shouldn't. Like, what the hell? Do y'all see how people are treating these celebrities right now for choosing to pick whoever, like, vote for whoever they're going to vote for? That is life. There will be people who try to talk about it anyway, and all you can do is bite your tongue, try to remain agreeable, or change the subject, even if the person is a shithead with bigoted or ass-backwards views. I wonder if this baby has ever went outside and touched grass. All you gotta do is set the boundary and just say, hey, you know, like, I don't talk on politics. Everybody has their opinions, and I respect that. But, you know, just for the sake of the appointment, that's not a conversation I'd like to have. No one's going to get mad at you for that. And if they do, then that's their problem. You don't have to sit there and listen to it either. Like, you have the right as a service provider to refuse service. If you dwell on things or overthink, don't do it. You'll be too silent. Can't afford to have anything on your mind. People need you focused on them and caring only about them. I'm sorry. The next one just is... If you get acne easily, be ready for constant breakouts from other people's hair, skin, and oils flying all over the place. You can only protect yourself so much. Are you touching them and touching your face? What the Okay. If you get squeamish from gross things like a ton of skin flakes flying around in your face, don't do it. What the fuck? What is she talking about? You will also be expected to trim old man ear hair. Where the hell does this child work at, guys? Like, what the hell? You can't have a problem with that, and they tend to be the crustiest. What the fuck? What? Okay. Old people are a lot of the clients. Okay. They are nuts. They are nasty. They are mentally declined. They can be some of the rudest and difficult, especially old women who expect you to make them look like Lisa Rinna or Jamie Lee Curtis for $20. Ooh, baby, please, yes, please leave our industry expeditiously because you are something else. Piece of work. The old people don't bother me. Like, the most, I guess, difficult thing. Oh, Lord, now I got hiccups, Lord. I'm sorry, y'all. The most difficult thing I would say about elderly clients, if I had to say anything, is just that, like, a lot of them don't do so well with the, like, technology transition. So, for instance, like, I have a booking site. Most of my older clients, they have someone at home that will help them. And as much as I don't, like, care to sit on the phone and do the back and forth, like, depending on the client, I will. But that's probably, like, the most taxing part. Like, a lot of them just be happy. Why is my ring upside down? A lot of them just be happy to be there and actually be in the presence of somebody that's willing to work with them. So, like, okay. I don't know. Oh, people don't bother me. And then if you're working in an area where the majority of your clientele is the elderly, go work in an area where you're dealing with people your own age. I don't see the problem. The average home needs at least $30,000 in renovations to be considered legally able to operate a business in. But how are you going to afford the house, let alone the renovations? Baby, can't nobody afford a house right now. We don't even get approved for loans because the industry is so unstable. Your pay fluctuates and banks hate that. I have to totally disagree. I've never had a problem with being approved for a personal or a business loan outside of maybe my personal credit. Because banks will they'll just ask for tax returns. Are you not filing taxes? And then you're saying that you're working at like a Great Clips or something like that. You guys are paid by check. So I'm so confused at what this child is going through right now. People who are privileged enough to inherit a home or a shop have an immediate advantage. Good luck competing with them in a small town. Move out of that small town then. I went to school with a few people like this. Their parent owned a salon or they inherited a house they could renovate. They didn't have to start from scratch like most of us. They got to completely bypass booth rent, Great Clips, cost cutters, and the like. They have the advantage in every single way. Getting where they started takes most people over 10 years of constant, dedicated, back-breaking work. I'm on year 5 and I want to give up. It's a constant uphill battle, and starting a business would just be one brand new hill to climb with a mountain of debt. I can't see retirement being feasible. I just want to go to work nonchalantly, do my duties, get paid the same livable wage every week, and be left the F alone. But no, not in this industry. I just don't understand why you don't leave. Oh, well, this explains everything. All right. I'm at Cost Cutters. So Cost Cutters is like another Great Clips. I'm at Cost Cutters, and my plan is to take advantage of the health benefits this year and then go back to school. Even the cosmetologists I know have been doing this for over 15 years still can't afford to live alone. They need husbands, boyfriends, roommates, and parents. What a stressful, unfulfilling existence. I see cosmetologists in their 60s who can't retire. Let me tell you that from experience, that is poor money management. That's all that is. That is poor money management. Anytime, even when my industry has been slow, and I literally just had a conversation with my husband about this. Anytime that money has been funny for me, it's been because I did not manage my money. Yes, our industry fluctuates, but it is very predictable. It's a little different right now because of the recession, but outside of the recession, it's very predictable. So we know, for instance, that let's say that, okay, around back to school time, I don't service children. So, of course, my books were not as full during back to school time because a lot of the clients that I have are moms. So, they obviously have to figure out, okay, I have school supplies here, I have clothes here, I gotta get these kids' hair done. I'm not a priority at that time because I don't do kids' hair, right? I also have 4 of my own, so I have to plan around whatever they have going on. So if you know, okay, right around this time it's getting ready to get slow, then you need to make sure that everything that you need to take care of is already paid for and planned for. The thing is that how we spend in our up season is going to obviously directly reflect what happens when we have a down season. That's just common sense. So if somebody is in their 60s and they can't retire, first and foremost, this whole generation of 60-somethings is still working. My dad is almost 60 years old and that man still works. My mother is 54 and she's still working. Like, that's just life right now. That's just literally, like, that is just what's happening right now. That's the economy, period. I'm just really confused at what this person's like utopia is. Like, what is your, because to think that, okay, I'm just gonna go to work and I'm gonna make the same thing every day and I'm not gonna have to talk to people and I'm not gonna have to deal with the public. Like, what job do you think that you're gonna be able to get where you can do that? I'm so confused. Let's see. I don't want that to be me. I want to be able to buy a home and not depend on anyone. And I don't want to have to break my back day in and day out just to have a roof over my head. I can't imagine how exhausting. I can't. That is life, period. There's also the TikTok trend where people like to post your every mistake. So if something unexpected happens or you're not an expert at their hair type, they are filming it on their phone to blast it out for the whole damn world while they make fun of you. You just want to be able to eat that day. They agreed to buy a service and now your misery is their clout, literally. You have to be amazing 24/7 or someone will find a way to make you want to kill yourself. Do not even think about going into cosmetology thinking you will be able to please everyone. You can't please everyone in any industry. That is mistake number 1. You will have a set skill and you will need to focus on that. Mistakes will be made. Learning experiences happen. Hence why beauty school is a scam. I disagree. Most of your learning happens in the real world. I do agree with that. The real world is much, much more cruel. I could go on and on. Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to go... let me see if I can find, let me go see if I can go back to the Reddit post because I actually ended up copying this so that like in case the page refreshed, I wouldn't lose my spot. So I'm gonna try to go back really quick so I can read some of the comments to you guys. But while I'm doing that, I will say this. Part of me feels like this young lady is having like just a mental breakdown. She did say that she suffers from anxiety and depression. And I feel like she's having a depressive break right now. Because this was just a rant. And baby, that is a whole lot of typing that child did. Like, look at how, bro, like this is all of what we just worked through. And this video is going to clearly be over an hour long. So someone replied and said, respectfully, you get out what you put in just like any other job. I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. That is totally how I feel. When I got to the point in this industry where I was just like, I'm tired, I hate it, I don't want to do it, I don't like these people, whatever. It was at a point where I had to really sit back and look at me and ask myself what I was putting into what I was doing. And I was not the shit like I thought I was, okay? In the words of Ice Spice, I wasn't even a fart, okay? Literally, like, I was putting out, and this is just me being all the way 1,000 with y'all, right? I was doing the bare minimum. I was putting out mediocre work. I was not putting my foot into what I was doing. Like, I was doing enough to get by. Like, clients didn't know that I wasn't doing my best, but I knew that I wasn't giving 110%. I talked about this in another video where I talked about how at that point clients were just dollar signs. They weren't even people attached to the dollar signs. It became very monotonous for me, and I had to find a way. I found myself falling out of love with my profession, but the very first person that I needed to check was me. When I revamped my whole everything, so I'm talking about rebranding, going back, taking classes, relearning things. I would even go so far as to read like other hairstylist reviews on like StyleSeat or Booksy or Facebook or Yelp or Google. And I was reading client complaints. I was having to deal with my own complaints. I've been reported to the BBB before. I always tell you guys, I was not perfect my damn self. There were so many areas that I needed to improve in. And once I started to do that, and once I started to do the work, and I started to improve on not only the level and quality of work that I was giving, but improve on the experience, things got better for me as well as for my clients. Somebody else said, girl, you obviously needed a place to vent. I only read the first 3 lines, but projecting your situation onto others' capabilities and career prospects is not helpful to you or them. Saying you can never have a day of depression or low social battery literally dehumanizes successful cosmetologists. Millions and billions of people around the world go to work while experiencing low points, including cosmetologists. As for the rest, congratulations, or I'm sorry that happened to you. I ain't reading all that. I get it. And I feel like that's part of like protecting your peace. Like, that shit was long. Somebody else said, damn, anything else? Your situation does not apply to everyone. Nothing comes without hard work. All you did was prove that you yourself are not cut out for this profession. It's sad that you feel that way, but the way you do about such a profitable profession. By the way, I've been a licensed Cosmo for 35 years now, and I love it. It's too bad that you paid for an education only to be waiting tables. Loan still needs to be paid back. Start networking. Do it on the side. Become a mobile stylist or a brand educator. There are so many things you can do. All the best to you. That's exactly what I said. If you don't want to work in a shop, go mobile. Go to people's houses. For me personally, I've learned that I like the one-on-one experience. The shop life, just for me, it was fun when I was younger. As I've gotten older, it's very draining, and I don't like that I can't control the atmosphere. Meaning, like, when it's just me and my client, we can vibe, we can listen to whatever music we want to listen to, we can watch whatever show we want to watch without worrying about either offending someone else, or I've worked in shops where the content that is being displayed is very inappropriate for the client that I have in the chair, right? I cuss like a fucking sailor, but when I have an older client per se in my chair, I watch my goddamn mouth. But you'll have people in the shop, and I've been in those situations where they're cussing up a storm and bitch this, bitch that, and F this, and P word that, and all that, and it makes the person uncomfortable. I worked in a barbershop where the barbershop itself was fun, but the environment was extremely unprofessional, and a lot of clients that I lost when I got out of that, sorry y'all, a lot of clients that I had lost when I left that barbershop all came right back, and they were like, it wasn't you, it was the environment that you were working in. And like I said, you could definitely be a brand educator. Like, it's up to her if she wants to let her license go to waste. If you want to pay all them student loans and let that go to waste, you know, that's on you. But like I said, this person just is not a people person. They just don't want to deal with the public. Someone else said, I agree with you. Talking to the last comment, I agree with you. I've been licensed for 26 years. I worked in California, Pennsylvania, Alabama, and Washington. I've owned my salon for 14 years now. Yes, there are things that are gross, and yes, you'll be tired and sore, etc. But if you know how to take care of those items, you can fix your pain. You have to work hard to be successful. I wouldn't change it for the world. Sometimes you are just not cut out for it. And as far as people being mean, you have to know how to deal with it. I do not let anyone talk down on my stylist, and if they do, you are not welcome at my salon. Period. That is me. If you talk to me crazy, it's out. And I haven't had that in years. Like I said, you get back what you put out. Somebody else says, sounds like you're the problem. I agree. Somebody else said, talking about serving being better, like it doesn't almost fluctuate, like it's not also gross, like it doesn't require being on and in the mood all the time, like it doesn't tear your body apart, like you can just walk in with no experience or education and make a livable wage. If you hate hair, that's fine, but maybe the industry isn't your problem. Okay, so this person, their comment is kind of long, so hold on. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to get comfortable here. My legs is falling asleep on me. Okay, so this person said, I'm only going to cosmetology school because nails is what I love. I would love to have my own mobile salon one day and offer services to retirement homes. That is great. Okay, hold on, lost the comment. Okay, here it goes. Retirement homes in the older generation. They said, I have a lot of patience for how set in their ways they are in their opinions, and thank fucking God I do have a supportive family who is willing to have my back and help me get to that spot. If I had nothing and was by myself with no support, I would not be doing this. I would not go to school, and I would just make press-ons as a hobby. I do obviously like to do hair and makeup, but nails is my go-to. I have a knack for it, and thankfully I would only have to pay $10,000 in the span of 10 years after financial aid paying the other half. So she said that her total cost of school was $24,500. The only thing I do know I will hate the most is not being able to be around my kids as much as I am now. The only downfall I'm not looking forward to is in New Jersey, I need 3 years in the industry first to even own my own nail salon or business. I have family and friends willing to be my customers already because they've already seen the work I do in school or before school. I also know it won't pay my bills, but I'm lucky enough to already have my own place at 31. So all I pay now is normal house bills and yearly taxes for that. If I did this out of high school, it would be a lot harder because I didn't have then what I have now, and it took me many years of dead-end jobs to save up and get where I am now. True. So if you guys know my story about me working at FedEx and all of that, before I just gave up and said, you know what, let me just do hair full time. That's when things started to change for me. I am so sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get comfortable. I apologize for all the shifting and moving. Let's see. I only plan to do this as a side thing, honestly, because like you, I highly agree this is not a life-paying job at all. It's not a job that will pay for everything myself and my kids need. As long as I can get through the 3 years of what you're explaining in the industry, I'll be able to get where I want to be. Because once that 3 years of experience is up, I'm running to my mobile salon and getting away from the toxicity of other women in toxic places and being my own boss on my own time with my own rules. And if clients don't like that, they're not meant to be my clients. But also, it's always going to be a side thing for me and not my whole life. I'm very good with dealing with a lot of what you said, except the toxic people. I'd have to work aside because honestly, like, we're all grown, stop the drama, LOL. There's no reason for women to be the way they are with that. For somebody that's in school and this is already your view, like I said, I just feel like this is just strictly, like how you come into the industry. Like I said, I genuinely love what I do. Have I gotten plenty of times to the point where I feel burnt out? Yes. And when I get to that place now, I ask myself, okay, what do I need from me right now? What's wrong? How am I feeling? A lot of the time when I am experiencing burnout, for me, it's because I have been working myself like a dog. I'm overstimulated. I'm tired because on top of that, I'm still someone's mother. So what I did for myself in this season, and the only person that really knows what's going on right now is my best friend and my husband. But what I did for myself in this season was I took a step back. That doesn't mean that I'm not like completely doing hair at all, right? But what I did is sometimes you have to sit and ask yourself, okay, how much do I need to make to maintain my life, right? And then you'll say, okay, I need to make this much. That calculates down, or that breaks down to this many clients. I need to make maybe this much a day or this much a month or this much a week or whatever, right? Okay, so once you figure that out, that's your total for yourself. So you then tell yourself, let's say for argument's sake, I don't know in what universe, but let's say for argument's sake that you just need to make $800. If you're somebody that's doing weaves, right, for $200, I'm just throwing numbers out here right now. You can do your 4 weaves, that's your quota for the month. You know that after you've done your 4 weaves, that everything that you need to pay for is paid for, right? Okay. Then you allow yourself rest. So I have not nearly been working as much as I normally do. And like I said, this goes back to money management. If I wasn't managing my money in my up season the way that I should have, then I would be stuck now. The blessing is that when I tell you I've probably only done, like, it was 1 week, y'all, where I literally only had 2 clients the whole week, and I didn't promote any openings because I was just that mentally exhausted. And it's not always from work. I'm someone's mom. I have a whole household to run here, right? And then just life and the world makes us freaking tired, right? And so for me, I allowed myself a break. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, is a lot of us, especially as women, we're just on this constant hamster wheel. And we're running and we're running and we're running, and I got to do this and I got to do that, and this needs to be done and that needs to be done, and I need to do this. And sometimes, no, you don't. You don't. You owe it to yourself to rest. So sometimes it's not even our industry that's doing it to us. It's us that's doing it to us. It's not always the clients, y'all. It's us. Because think about it, like, we're not going to always like every client that we deal with. Believe me, you can block somebody today and baby, you're going to get one. You're going to be like, how the hell did she get here? How did she find me? Once you build a consistent clientele, the great thing about that is a lot of them, it's harder for them to kind of slip in because your consistent clientele are going to keep your books full. But I think a lot of it is just the burnout. And like I'm going to keep saying this, but for this person that made this post, a lot of their issue is you are comparing yourself to everybody in the industry, and you're assuming what everybody in the industry is doing to be successful, when that could be the furthest from the truth. I just think that person's outlook is no, I don't want to say bad. Their outlook is so negative that they can't see any positivity in the situation. I don't care what anyone says. I understand that we have YouTube University and things like that, but there are still people that want to be pampered. And when you offer your clients, and I'm saying this from experience, I don't care how much YouTube University there is. I don't care how many courses people take. People still want to be pampered. Y'all, I've been doing my own hair since I was a child. That don't mean I want to do my own hair all the time. I went and took a class with my sister. I now do my own nails. Baby, that don't mean I want to do that all the time. My right hand, baby, I doing nails with your dominant hand is not the wave. You know, like, we're girls. We want to feel good and look good. We will always have a job. But the thing is that it's how you approach this industry. How are you dealing with the clients that you have? How are you dealing with your industry? And like I said, this person clearly is just not a people person. So get into brand development. I wouldn't let cosmetology school, if you're going and getting a loan, if you're going like a Beta, or back in the day we had Marinello, your loan's just like 20 racks. Baby, guess who wouldn't be paying 20 racks back that I didn't use? So hopefully my hope for this video is, if you are feeling this way, I want to validate that your feelings are valid, but I also want to say that maybe you just need a change of scenery within the industry. Never forget that your license does not just have you restricted to a chair. You don't have to just be behind a chair. There's other things that you can do. You can work at a beauty supply store. Like, you don't have to stand behind a chair. You can go work, like Cosmetologist, you have to be licensed to work at Cosmetologist. Go work at Cosmetologist. Obviously, like I said, this person doesn't want to deal with the public at all, but no matter where you work, you have to deal with the public. But for those of you that want to be cosmetologists or want to get in the beauty industry somehow, I will just say, from me to you, yes, it can be tiring at times. Yes, there are going to be times where you're asking yourself, what am I doing this for? Yes, there are going to be some clients that make you question your sanity. But you can find ways. I find new ways every day to fall in love with my industry all over again. I find new ways every day to fall in love with what I do for a living. It's not all bad. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But every single job that you work is going to be something that you don't like. That's just the reality of being an adult, right? I'm going to say a silent prayer for this young lady and pray that if this is not the industry for her, that she does find something that works for her, and that she goes and talks to the lady, because clearly she's having a mental breakdown there somewhere. But yeah, I know this was very long. If you're still here at the end, thank you. And let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.